Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. These are the names we think of when we talk about the richest people in history. But what if I told you there was a man whose fortune was so vast, so unimaginable, that he caused entire economies to collapse just by spending money? A man who ruled an empire of gold, salt, and knowledge in the heart of 14th century Africa. His name? Mansa Musa. And he wasn't just rich. He was wealthier than anyone alive today, including Musk, Bezos, and every tech billionaire combined. This is the untold story of the African king who rewrote the meaning of wealth. Who was Mansa Musa? The forgotten emperor of gold long before the skyscrapers of Dubai or the riches of Silicon Valley. There was a kingdom in West Africa so wealthy, its rulers literally measured riches in mountains of gold. And at the heart of it all stood one man, Mansa Musa, the 10th emperor of the Mali Empire, who ruled from 1312 to 1337. But Mansa Musa wasn't just a king. He controlled one of the largest empires in the world at the time, stretching across modern-day Mali, Senegal, Gambia, Niger, Nigeria, and even parts of Chad. His empire sat on top of the largest gold reserves on Earth, at a time when gold literally was the global currency. So when historians say he might have been the richest man who ever lived, they're not exaggerating. In fact, modern estimates put his wealth at over $400 billion in today's money. And some say that number still doesn't do him justice. The pilgrimage that shook the world in 1324, Mansa Musa made a journey that would put him, and the Mali Empire, on the map forever. As a devout Muslim, he set out on a pilgrimage to Mecca, known as the Hajj. But this wasn't your average spiritual journey. Mansa Musa's caravan stretched as far as the eye could see, 60,000 men, including thousands of soldiers, slaves, and attendants, 100 camels, each carrying up to 300 pounds of gold, and even 500 royal servants, dressed in silk, holding golden staffs. He passed through Egypt on his way to Mecca, and this is where his insane wealth left its mark. He spent and donated so much gold in Cairo that he caused a massive inflation crisis. Gold lost its value. Prices skyrocketed. It took over a decade for the local economy to recover. Think about that, Mansa Musa broke an entire economy just by being generous. Building a golden legacy, the rise of Timbuktu. Mansa Musa wasn't just obsessed with wealth, he was obsessed with knowledge, culture, and architecture. On his return from Mecca, he brought back something far more valuable than gold: architects, scholars, and ideas. And with them, he transformed Timbuktu into the intellectual and spiritual heart of Africa. He built mosques, libraries, and universities that would rival anything in Europe at the time. The most famous, the Djingareba Mosque, designed by a renowned Egyptian architect he brought with him, and it's still standing today. Under Musa's reign, Timbuktu became a hub of science, astronomy, mathematics, and Islamic law. It attracted scholars from as far as the Middle East, North Africa, and even Spain. This was not just a kingdom of gold. It was a kingdom of mind-blowing innovation and learning. How Mansa Musa appeared on European maps. Mansa Musa's wealth was so legendary that it stretched across continents, reaching the far corners of Europe. When European mapmakers first heard about his empire, they were shocked by the scale of his riches. In fact, Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca had such a profound impact on the West that it influenced European maps for centuries. The Catalan Atlas, a map created in 1375 by Catalan cartographers, is one of the most famous examples. There, right in the middle of Africa, was the depiction of a golden king sitting on a throne, holding a gold nugget in his hand. This was no ordinary ruler, this was a man whose wealth seemed beyond the comprehension of Europeans. For the first time, Europeans realized that Africa wasn't just a land of mystery and danger, but a land of incredible wealth and civilization. Mansa Musa's legacy of gold wasn't just a story in Africa, it had global implications, changing how the world viewed the African continent. Mansa Musa's influence on the world's economy. Mansa Musa wasn't just a king with unmatched riches, he was a power player in global economics, even in his time. His wealth wasn't just about what he owned, it was about how he used it to influence and shape the economy. One of the most incredible examples. The gold standard in the medieval world was set by the Mali Empire, with Mansa Musa at its helm. The sheer amount of gold he controlled meant he could dictate prices, change trade routes, and impact markets. His gold-backed currency was highly sought after, and even merchants from Europe and the Middle East traveled to Mali to trade. But it wasn't just about spending. Musa invested in strategic alliances with neighboring empires and Islamic leaders. By doing so, he strengthened Mali's place in the world economy, making it one of the richest and most powerful regions on Earth. In fact, Mansa Musa's spending spree on his Hajj trip was so extraordinary that historians often point to it as a major event that influenced global trade systems for centuries. Mansa Musa's story is one of unimaginable wealth, cultural influence, and unstoppable power. But beyond the gold, his legacy lies in the way he changed the world's perception of Africa. His empire wasn't just about riches, it was a hub of learning, knowledge, and innovation that left a lasting mark on history. Even centuries later, we are still in awe of what he achieved. A king who made his fortune from gold, but who used it to build a legacy that would outlive him. So next time you hear the name Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, remember, there was once a man who was richer than them all, a man whose wealth changed the world, Mansa Musa. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and legacy of Mansa Musa, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more amazing stories from history that changed the world. And drop a comment below. What's the most shocking thing you learned about the richest king in history? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay curious, and thanks for watching.